I'ma tell y'all a story today, man. It's a story of back when I was a kid. Middle school, to be exact, 7th or 8th grade. 7th and 8th grade, actually, probably, is when I used to do this. I used to get in a lot of trouble at school. I would get suspended. And I would come back and get suspended that day that I came back. I was a bad kid. I was a class clown. I used to fight all the time. I was short white kid. You know, always had something to prove. A lot of people always wanted to test me and see what I was made of. So I was always fighting, man. I was always in some bullshit. You know how it is. Especially at that age. Had little girlfriends, fight over the girlfriends, all that bullshit. But anyways, we had a principal, man. His name was Mr. Acina. He was a cool dude. You could tell he used to be in the streets. He was older now, reformed. I don't think he ever went to prison or anything, but he was, you know, just grew up in the hood. He was a hood dude. He had hood sayings. He would clown with us. He would be like, stop sipping on that haterade, or he would be like, gone, you gone, and that means you're suspended. You're out of there. So Mr. Acina had a little program called bonding. He used to say, hey, I'm going to do some bonding with Mr. Acina. Yeah, do some bonding. And bonding was, we had a 3-floor building. School was 3 floors. It was an older building. It was probably built back in the 20s, 1920s. It was an old building. You know what I mean? It had 3 floors, 3 flights of stairs. Kind of something like this, but the flights of stairs were bigger. And it was 3 floors. So, he had us get all the desks. Mind you, these are these one-piece desks. It's the table and chair, all in one piece. It's a heavy desk. It's probably 60 to 80 pounds from what it felt like, especially to my little 6th, 7th grade, 8th body. You know, my little middle school body. I was struggling. He would have us carry these desks from the 3rd floor down to the 1st floor, all them flights of stairs, carrying that damn desk. It's scraping on the bottom. I'm hitting the bottom of the stairs. He's laughing as I'm struggling. Oh, little man, you can't deal. You can't deal. I'm mad as fuck. I'm still trying to prove something, so I'm like, I could do this shit. I could carry this, knowing damn well I'm struggling like a motherfucker. But anyways, man, I was doing this shit all the time. I was always in bonding, man. I was always getting suspended. I was always in trouble. And I was the cool, you know, thought I was Mr. Cool. Mr. Cool guy on campus. I was popular. A lot of kids, you know, knew me. And there was these 2 autistic kids, man, a brother and sister. And I was always really nice to the special ed kids. A lot of kids like to make fun of them, pick and poke and this and that. And I used to hate that shit. I always used to stand up for them and be like, look, man, don't do that shit. It's not cool. It's not their fault. They have a disability. They're going through it as it is. Leave them alone, man. I would always try to be nice to them, this and that. And I was always nice to these kids, man. And they would see me doing bonding. And they thought it was cool. They were like, oh, yeah, he's doing bonding. And, you know, they would follow me. They would, you know, they thought it was the shit. Because I was doing it. And, you know, they wanted to be popular. They thought I was their friend, kind of, which I wasn't. I was nice to them, you know, but I wasn't their friend. But anyways, one day we're doing bonding. We got to do the art room. And we got 2 people, and we got these big-ass desks in the art room. They're basically like dining room tables. And you got to have one person on each side, and even still, it's going to be hard as fuck. So I'm thinking to myself, how the hell we going to do this shit? And of course, I got my guys, the brother and sister there, and they're over there. Mr. Acina, can we please do bonding? We know you need some extra people. Can we please do bonding, Mr. Acina? So I'm like, shit, he's really probably gonna let them do this, man. And I could tell he's thinking about it. He doesn't want to do it. He's thinking to himself, no, this is a bad idea. These kids are special ed. They definitely don't need to be doing bonding. Like, I'm just telling you right now, I could have made that decision, and I was in middle school. So they're begging him, and Would you know it, Mr. Racina says, fuck it. Let's do it. Y'all could do it. I'm sure you can. I believe in you. So we start up, me and my homeboy both got bonded. We're starting on the art tables. We're both small. We're barely making it down. Mind you, these special ed kids, this brother and sister, they're not small. They're hefty. They're built. They're not built. They're plus size, you know? But plus size is not always a good thing, man. I'm going to tell you that right now because they were out of shape. They were severely out of shape. And me and my boy, we're carrying the desk down. We're taking breaks, this and that. We're probably on the second floor tier, and we hear what sounds like somebody jumping off the top of the stairwell and landing on the bottom. That shit was loud. Like a whole commotion, kabang clang, and some shit. And we hear a loud ass yell. And after that, we just hear wailing, like just straight wailing, crying, like it's bad. We know it's bad. We both look at each other, we're like, oh fuck. We hear Mr. Racina, and he's on his walkie-talkie. I need an ambulance here. I need an ambulance now. He sound like he need his inhaler, man. I ain't never heard Mr. Racina sound like this. He was so fucking scared, man. He was so fucking scared. He sounded like he was about to have a heart attack, man. I felt so bad for that, man. I hear these kids, I hear only one person's crying, though. I hear one person screaming, and it's the sister. I don't hear the brother. So I'm like, what the fuck? Did he jump down? Did he Superman his way off off a tier? Because that's kind of what it is. At the top of the stairs, there's a railing, and I'm thinking his ass jumped down. So we run up the stairs. We run up there, and as we're coming up to the last tier, up to the third floor, we see her brother laying there. The table is all up on his head, like it's still up against his head as he's laying there. His head is cocked back to the side, all the way, like in an unnatural position. You know for a fact that something was very, very wrong with the way his neck was sitting. What happened was, as they were carrying this table, he was going backwards down the stairs. He slipped. The table came with him as he went back. The table hit the top of his chin as he came back, and his head went onto the stair, and the table basically broke his neck. Basically broke his head off. That's what that happened. And it was the most disgusting thing that you could ever see, because this man's head was folded backwards as he lay there, and his sister was on her knees wailing and screaming with drool running from her face, and the principal is staying there. He's hitting himself in the head with the walkie-talkie. He's losing it. My principal is hitting himself in the head with the fucking walkie-talkie. He don't know what the fuck to do. Huh? Tell me about that, man. That's bonding with Mr. Racina.